two of you. There's two in for this Friday afternoon, tips and tricks. We're not going to be too long, but I think we can have some fun. If I put on my mask right now, and there's nobody in the office with me, David's computer, can you tell me, does that make any sense if I'm wearing a mask and there's nobody in the office with me? Right, it doesn't make sense. But I have been outside a couple of times today, and I've touched a number of things, and my hands could be infected. Would you agree? Both of you, you're welcome to type in your chats. Yes, and what do they keep telling us not to touch, or try not to touch if we're outside? What are they saying we should try and keep our hands away from? You can both reply in the chat. Our mouth, yeah, you're right. And our face, that's right. What else? Can we hear from Kingsmead? Mouth is one thing. I always end up touching something and I don't even know I'm doing it. Can you tell me what it is? Have we got anybody from Kingsmead who's able to tell us what we should not touch? The nose. Are we there from Kingsmead? Any answers from Kingsmead? Joshila? Great. Okay, we were just wondering if that was there. Okay, good. All right. So we've realized that we shouldn't be touching or bringing our hands anywhere near our face, and we have got a simple little thing to show you with the MicroBit that's going to teach us some programming language or some problem-solving skills. And I'm just going to switch across to my platform now. And I don't know if you know this, but at Dis-Chem and all major pharmacies, they are selling these very interesting watches. You'll see them on sale at all major pharmacies, Dis-Chem, Clicks, and yeah, you'll notice that the EFF can't get upset with this watch. So Clicks is fine with this, but you'll notice that this watch from Clicks, every time I move my arm in a certain direction, or I move my arm towards my face, it's going to show me, it's going to put lights on, and it's going to show me a frowny face. So at least my eye catches the movement, and I know, ooh, I must not touch my face. Do you guys believe me? Do you think these watches are really on sale at Clicks and Dis-Chem?
No.
They are not. But did you recognize the MicroBit on my arm?
Yes.
Do you think we can start programming or coding this MicroBit to say that if I bring it near my face, it's going to give me a frowny face to say, warning, warning, don't come near your face?
Yes.
Are you
explain that again? Explain that again. You want us to answer if the pretend phone you have on your arm, which is a MicroBit, can be a warning system.
It's a warning system. That's right. To catch my eye if I bring it near my face, and I'm going to see lights. I'm going to see lights on it. I'm going to say, "Oops! Don't scratch your nose or don't rub your eyes." That's what we're going to try and do. Anybody? Scott, were you going to say something?
I said I think we can make a warning system out of it.
We can make a warning system out of it. I'm going to share my screen, guys, and just follow me as best you can. On my simulator at the moment, you can see that my simulator is starting to swivel and turn.
Your screen yet?
Not. Thank you for the warning. That's why we need support.
Share a Chrome.
Gordon,
Yes.
this is just a question. Last week you gave us homework. Are we gonna show you what we did?
If we, I'd like to see it at the end. Yes. Are we talking about the arcade homework?
Yes.
Are you dying to show me some animated sprites or something?
I did most of it. I just couldn't do the leg jumping.
The leg jumping. Oh, okay. I'd
Well,
like
let's get through this, and then we'll definitely have a look at that. That sounds amazing.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and as you can see, I've got my my watch that is going to be tilting. There it is. Sorry, wasn't I even sharing my screen when I showed you my Discam or Clicks watch?
No.
No.
Oh, I was going to show you this. Okay, there we go. As I bring it up to my face, I see the lights on, and I say, "Oh, no, absolutely not." And if I'm working and I'm playing with, I'm doing something else, and then I move it to my face. There it comes on. If it's still there, it goes off. If I move my arm, it comes on, and I know not to touch my face. So what we're looking at is on the simulator, we are going to be moving our microbit, but you'll notice that if I move my microbit this way, if I tilt it sort of forward up, can you all see that?
Yes.
I'm going to get something to happen. I'm going to get an output to happen. I'm going to get my LEDs to glow in a red angry face, and that is going to be my warning to for me to catch myself before I touch my. Obviously, I've just used an elastic band on mine, but you guys can really get into some design with some sort of a bracelet or some sort of a band that you put around your wrist, and you can make quite a nice little warning system. Let's have a look at it. Okay, I'm going to break it up into little pieces for you, and you can build along with me. Have you both got your microbits nearby?
Can you quickly go fetch them?
Okay, go for it. It would be good. David, do you have yours around? Oh dear, is it nearby? Do you want to try and go and get it, or are you just going to watch? In Cape Town. Shame. Okay, we can't wait for it to come back. But
I'm going next weekend. If you want me to fetch it for you, I'll be down there. So if you can get it to me, if someone who's got it there can send it to me, or we can meet up, I'll bring it back up to Joburg for you.
Do you think you want to try and make a plan, David? Okay.
Okay. Ask and then yeah, ask your dad, and then if you want me to do that, just get your dad to contact me, and I'll chat to him, and I'll definitely make sure that I get it for you, because I know how important I feel lost when I don't have my microbit. So if I can help you out,
do you want to put a contact detail in the message, Scott?
We're on, David, on your, yeah, absolutely. I'll put that in the chat, and you can your dad can give me a call.
Okay.
Or he can drop me a mail. Carry.
All right, let's get on with our warning system. Okay. So you'll notice that I've got a pink block, and I have an answer from Kingsmead. What does everything that comes out of the pink block, what do we call that? No answer there. An input. Okay, so we're going to use inputs, and if you look under the blocks we know well, we see on button A, we see on shake. Okay, and if you drag on shake and you click on it, you'll see that there are a couple of other options there. It's not just shake. There's something called logo up, logo down, screen up, screen down, tilt left, tilt right. If your microbit is in a free fall, if it's falling, we can have that as an input. And then there are three little G's there. There's 3G, 6G, and 8G. So I know we haven't got communication back and forth so nicely today, so I'm just going to quickly talk you through what the 3G is. The G stands for G-force, and that is the force of gravity pulling down on you. And I can describe it by if you turn a corner in a car. If your dad's going slowly, you might lean just a little bit in the car. If your dad's late for work and he's got to get you to school, he might turn the car a bit further, and you might lean a little bit more. That will be a higher G-force. And if your dad is trying to go and get tickets to the next cricket match that is coming up and they're selling out, he might be driving very fast and he might turn the corner quite fast, and then you go like, whoa, and that is even more of a G-force. So there are inputs: shake, logo up, logo down. We are going to be using logo up for this little demonstration, and logo up is referring to this little logo on the microbit. At the moment, mine is red, but yours would be a different color every time you refresh your screen. And you can put the logo up like it is now. If I tilt it down, my logo will be up. And if I tilt the logo down, then the bottom piece goes. So you're basically taking your microbit and you're tilting it forward or back. Okay, I'm going to try and position it. There we are. And if I tilt it forward, it's going to come on, and I tilt it back. Okay, so what is the microbit doing? I'm going to give you both an opportunity to put a comment in. What is the microbit actually measuring as I tilt it forward and back? I'm going to look for your comments in the chat. I can see somebody hit enter. I'm just waiting for it to pop up my side. But let's try and get 2 answers or even 3 answers from our participants this afternoon. I don't see any answers coming through in the chat. Are you guys struggling to type or enter an answer? Not. So obviously some internet capabilities today. But let me tell you, and then we'll see if you're right. If we come back to the okay, the microbit is measuring movement. Okay, so we're able to shake it, and that is an input, and we're able to move it, tilt it, and it's going to measure movement. That happens on a little place in your microbit. If you turn your microbits over, you'll see that something is called an accelerometer. I'm going to try and show it to you here. Or maybe here would be a better idea. Oops, I'm struggling. But there's a little accelerometer there where my pen is. It's on this side. And if I've really got to get better with my movement. I can't show it to you. So we need to focus. But if you turn your microbit over, you'll see a little square box called an accelerometer. And an accelerometer is going to measure any sort of movement in your microbit. So, yes.
From last week, with the temperature. You showed us what the accelerator does.
The accelerometer.
Yes.
I wouldn't have been talking about the accelerometer with temperature. We put a temperature variable in, and we saw a thermometer. Is that what you might be getting confused with?
Yes.
Okay, a thermometer is going to measure temperature, and an accelerometer is going to measure movement. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. You can start linking the two. You're not totally wrong. If you do lots of movement, will your temperature go up?
Yes.
I know I'm very hot and sweaty after one of those online gym sessions that my wife makes me do. So you can link the two, and I think the two can work quite nicely, an accelerometer and a thermometer. In fact, I'd love to see if you could maybe think about some code. If you could use an accelerometer to measure footsteps or how many times you've jumped. And then let's see if we can measure a temperature with the MicroBit. How does that sound?
Okay.
All right. But back to this little thing. We've got movement happening.
Gordon.
And yeah.
I can't see your screen anymore.
You can't see the screen anymore. Let's make sure. It says you are presenting to everybody.
You're presenting yourself. There you go.
Okay. There we go. That's how it is. So we know to go to input. We use the on shake button, but we're going to change the on shake button to logo up. Are you with me? And into that logo, we are going to put a show icon, which is going to give us an LED display, and that is going to be our warning system. Okay. And it's going to show, we can show anything really there. I have just decided to use a frowny face because I want my MicroBit to be quite strict with me and give me a negative reinforcement every time I put my hands near my nose to say, frowny face, you're going to get sick, Gordon. You're going to get sick if you keep touching your eyes, nose, or mouth. So a frowny face goes in there, and then I'm going to put a pause because I wanted to show me that face for a certain amount of time. If I'm sleepy or I'm not paying attention and I don't see the first little flash, I'd like it to be flashing for at least 2 seconds so that it's got time to warn me. And then I'm going to say clear screen. Okay, I hope you guys are building this with me. If you go and have a look at your accelerometer or your simulator, if it's flat, it's going to show nothing. But the moment I turn my wrist, okay,
Gordon.
and it tilts, I'm going to see a warning sign. Yes, a question?
Where do you type that?
What are you looking for? Logo up?
Yes.
Okay, you don't type logo up. If you go and get the on shake button, watch my screen.
Gordon,
the on shake button.
You can zoom in a little bit.
I can try.
Just move you to the other side. Oh, there we go. You got it. You got it. And then come down a bit. That's good.
Okay. On shake. You guys should be familiar with on shake. I did that at Kingsmead before COVID hit. And if you click on shake, you'll see some more options in a drop-down menu. Logo up, logo down, screen up, screen down.
Okay.
Have you got it?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to then use the logo up. You can choose your icon. You can go and make your own. Remember, you can go and make your own from the show LEDs, your own face. You could even make a little virus symbol to sort of say, whoa, careful, virus. You can't make a very nice coronavirus with the, but something like that type of thing. But yeah, you put in a little show LED, a pause long enough for your eye to catch it, and then clear screen, because you want it to flash again if you repeatedly touching your eye. And then you can check on your simulator whether it works, and you can download it onto your MicroBit. Okay, and every time I move, it gets angry with me. Have you guys got that? It's quite simple, isn't it?
Yes, Gordy.
Cool. Oh, great. We've got a microphone from David. Is that right? Sounds like it. I heard a yes there from both of you.
No, that was me.
Oh, was it? Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
You sounded just like a high school student.
It's because I'm so excited to be doing this.
Cool. All right. But now we're going to be dealing with the fact that that was quite a limiting movement. That was just one little movement up, logo up. So this little logo was moving from a flat position to an up position. But my wrist moves in all sorts of directions. It can move left, it can move right, it can move up, and it can move down. And I would like to build some code that gives me a little bit more of a movement. How can we use it as an example? If it's on my arm over here, and I move it like that. But what happens if I touch my ear and then I come across to my nose? There needs to be some sort of left and right movement. Would you guys agree with me? Are you all still there? I hope I'm not talking to myself.
No, you're not.
Okay. So then I want to show you a slightly different code. Okay. I'm going to give it to you like this first, and then we're going to go through it and construct it. But maybe I should try it in. Sorry, guys. Maybe I should try it in Streamer. I'm going to go home and then reload that one. Okay. Who wants to try and have a look at this code and take a guess as to what this code is talking about? I'm going to give you some clues. We're going to be talking about an input and what that input is saying, and then some other sort of variables. I see there's logic that's being used, but I'm not going to talk too much. I want it to come from some of you guys. Anybody brave enough? Look at my simulator as I move it to the left and right.
It's got special letters on it, X and Y.
Yes. I wonder what AX and AY mean. Anybody brave enough? So you can say no if you don't know the answer. That's allowed. Has anybody put anything in the chat? No. No, nobody's put anything in chat. I will tell you. I will tell you then. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Right. We are going to be talking about the MicroBit having an input that is called acceleration. Okay. And we are going to be investigating as my arm moves, as I put the MicroBit, let's spoon out the way. As I put the MicroBit on my arm and I move my arm with a certain amount of acceleration, okay, the MicroBit's going to register that and say, yes, I've registered movement, it's moving fast enough, and I'm going to show a output, which is going to be my LEDs. Are you guys happy with that? So let's have a look at that quickly. Make it one bigger. No, that's too big. Gonna move that to the other side. And
it's not just it's trick. Watch it. Always.
Right. We're going to use forever because we want this code to be continually giving us feedback or some information. All right. And if I take this out, we know our icons are easy, but our acceleration blocks might need a bit of work. Okay. So here is our if statement. It comes from our logic block. We know about logic. And logic is going to say, if something happens, then something else should happen. But if something else happens, then run something else that happens, all right? I used some logic yesterday with a group of children. And I said, if there were two teachers in your school, and one teacher was very, very strict and would give you detention for the whole week if you talked in assembly, and another teacher was much more friendly and forgiving, you use logic to say, is it worth the risk to talk in assembly when the strict teacher is there? If it's yes, or if it's no, is it worth the risk? But what I'm trying to say to you is, when you deal with logic, you're dealing with a comparison. You are comparing what will happen with the strict teacher to what will happen with the friendly teacher. Does that make sense? Logic? Logic is actually always going to involve a comparison. Does that make sense?
It's like if something does this, then something will do that.
That's right. Yeah.
Or if I do this, something will happen, or something else will happen if I don't do it.
Great. So I'm going to go and put that logic statement into forever. It's not going to look like this when you get it. You guys can get it like that. So logic, and there it is. That's the one we're using. And let's drag it and put it into our if statements. Then if you have a look at what it's called in our logic box, it's under a heading that's called comparison. And that's what a comparison is going to give us. It's going to give us two little rooms, and into those rooms we can compare the friendly teacher with the strict teacher. That's all we're really trying to explain to you with logic. Okay. Then what are we actually measuring? Are we measuring light as an input? No. Are we measuring temperature? That's not really going to help us. We know that we want to measure a movement towards our face. Okay, so it's going to have something to do with movement. And the input we are going to go and get, all right, is acceleration. And acceleration has a little mg in brackets. Scott, are you able to tell us what the mg stands for?
Milli-gravitational force.
Mini gravitational force. Milli. Okay. So it's not like a kg of gravity. It's like it's measuring in milligrams of gravity. Is that right?
Yeah. So it's like the time that we use milliseconds in MakeCode. We also use the milli-g, milli-gravitational force.
So gravitational would be like the main unit, and milli is the thing. Do you guys understand that? At your school, do you deal with kilograms and then milligrams? Are you guys there?
Yes.
And then what's the other one? We don't only measure things in grams, we also measure things in liquid. What's the big unit of measurement for liquid again? Is it
liquid?
Liquid, the big measurement is liters, isn't it?
With a little, yeah, liters.
Liters, yeah. And then if you're just taking medicine, then it's measured not in liters. You don't take liters of cough mixture. You take
milliliters.
Milliliters of cough mixture in a teaspoon. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here. It's going to be measuring small little parts of gravity, and if we measure how gravity is changing, we're actually measuring or measuring how gravity is moving. Rather, we're actually measuring acceleration. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you guys. So if the acceleration of x, I wonder what x could mean. Is there an answer from Kingsmead or from Noortable, I think? What are we talking about when we talk about the acceleration of x?
Moving fast on x, Gordon. Which one's x?
Which one is x? X is moving faster left and right. Okay, it is the x-axis, so it's straight up and down. All right.
Straight across.
That's right, across the microbit. So if I show you my microbit at the moment, okay, and I tilt my microbit to the left and to the right, that is moving it on the x-axis. Okay,
gotcha.
Does that make sense to you guys?
So basically from button to button, if you're holding it and you push the button and you push it away and you pull it towards you.
That's right.
Like that.
Left to right.
Am I doing it right? Am I doing it right?
I can't see. I must go to the... Yes, that's it.
Okay.
All right. Are you guys okay with the explanation so far? Mute off. Mute buttons off. Have we got voices there on the other side? Or a comment in the chat? Somebody's admitting coming in again. Are you back with us?
Okay, Gordon, show your screen. I think we got to get on to finishing this quickly.
Okay.
Already almost 1:45.
All right. There's my screen. Okay. All right, but do we have everyone back? I'm wondering if I don't hear any answers from Kingsmead or Noortable.
There you go. Jashila, what's up?
Sorry, I didn't hear what your questions were with my computer. So that's why I re-logged in on my mom's.
Okay. We were saying to you, we were talking about this button here, this code here, the acceleration of x, and I don't know if you were still with us when we were talking about what mg means.
Milligrams.
Not milligram, it's milligravitational. Okay, so we're not measuring a whole gravitational pull. We're measuring milligravitational pulls. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. And we were trying to get onto what it meant if we were going to be measuring the acceleration of x. And we wanted to know if you understood what the x meant. If you've done arcade with me, then you would know if you want to move a sprite on the x-axis, are you moving up or down or left and right?
Moving up and down.
On the x-axis, are you sure?
No, you move on the y-axis.
Y-axis is up and down. X-axis is left and right. Yeah. Are we okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. So if we're saying that we are going to measure if the acceleration, that's what this code is saying, if the acceleration is equal to naught, the microbit's going to be absolutely still. Correct? Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just showing my screen quickly so if everyone can see, here's the X and Y that we're talking about, that Gordon's talking about. So if you put your microbit flat onto the middle of that X and Y picture on the side here where I am, That's the X going across and the Y going up and down. Back to Gordon.
Thank you.
Okay, you got to share your screen again. Yeah, there we go. No,
Here we go, we're back. Okay, so we're going to be saying, we're going to be clicking this equal sign, the drop down on the equal sign, and we want to say if our acceleration starts to get greater than something, okay, we've got to put a value in there. These milli-gravitational pulls are very, very small, okay? So just to save some time this afternoon, I'm going to give you a value, 550, and we're going to say, if I move 550 milli-gravitational pulls, it should register something. You can go and experiment this weekend and say, if it's 1 or 2 or 10 or 20, does it register? Is it too few or is it too much? What value would be too big to put in there? But if the acceleration of x is greater than 550, we want to show an icon, and that icon is going to be a frowny face, because I'm measuring movement this way on my MicroBit. But my wrist can move in all directions. My wrist could also move up and down. So what do you think we need to build for up and down?
Y coordinates.
Y coordinates, fantastic. So we're going to add, okay, we're going to add another step. If the acceleration of x is greater than 50, show that. Otherwise, if it's another one, is it a separate if statement, Scott, or can we use the same one? I think it's the same one. So we're going to click it again, and if you click it again, you're going to get another little option to put in a conditional, and we're going to drag it in there. Else, if the y acceleration is greater than is greater than 550, show an unhappy face again. Okay, does that code make sense to you?
Yes.
Let's have a look. Okay. Oh, hang on. Then I need to also clear the screen. And let's have a look and see if that actually works. So if I move just gently, if I rock my simulator back and forth, okay, there we go. I've moved to the y greater than 550. Can you see the x value on the simulator? Let me enlarge it. Okay, if I put my mouse in the middle LED, it's going to be as close to 0, 0 as possible. I wonder if I can get it there. Maybe you guys can try. Okay, but if I start moving along the x-axis, you'll see, and if it's greater than, why doesn't it show? There we go. Okay, well there, and if it goes this way, up, but if I go this way, down, I get a movement. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so build that code, and let me show it to you. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay. So what we're going to leave you with for some homework is a question, and I don't know if you want to look at it now because we're running out of time. So if you just watch my screen, you'll notice that if I move one way, I get my frowny face on the x-axis, but if I move it the other way, I'm getting a blank screen. I'm not getting anything. What happens if my wrist moves that way and I want to touch my eyes or my nose or my mouth, and I've got some coronavirus on my fingers? I'm not going to get my signal. And if you look at the y-axis, if I move this way on the y-axis, I'm getting no output readings. But if I move this way, I do get my reading. So I'm missing a reading on this, which is a negative movement. If you look at my acceleration of y, okay, is negative 123. That's my maximum. And if my acceleration of y is positive 123, I get my output. On the x-axis, if I move it maximum to the x, it seems to be, my maximum is 69707. There it is. It's also minus 123. My maximum movements to the left, but my maximum movements to the right shows me my signal. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so how are we going to then grow this code to show both movements left and right and both movements up and down? That's a challenge for you.
Okay.
Could we use the last sort of 5 minutes to look at some arcade code that was built? Do you want to share your code with us?
Had some homework, yes.
Are you still there, Joshila? Yeah. Share your screen.
Yes, I'm just quickly opening it.
Share your screen and let's see what you've done with your animation of your sprites.
Okay.
Here it comes. Okay, this better be good. Are you nervous?
No.
Good.
So,
Okay. There we go. I see a flapping bat.
yes.
Okay. And just move your bat around. All right. And then move your bat left and right for me.
I can't move my back. I'm supposed to move my tracing, but now it's not working.
Are your bats supposed to chase your
No.
Okay. You know what you've done? Your bat is moving at the